Welcome, leaders. How is everyone doing today? I hope you're fine. Welcome to our live class. Yes, this is the time where we have powerful conversations around reading, personal development, and so much more. I hope you can see me and hear me. My name is Faith Michael. I'm the life optimization coach. I help individuals and professionals optimize their potentials for impact, income, and influence. Today is your first time stopping by my channel. Welcome on board. You are in the right environment. This is what we're going to be having a lot to do with personal growth. If that looks like what you're interested in, please subscribe to our channel so that you can keep getting updates on this. Welcome aboard. We do this every single Friday. It's our time together where we get to chat around the subject of growth. I hope you're ready for transformation. All right, tell me your name and where you're joining from. You can see me, you can hear me loud and clear. Let me know where you are joining the call from. I'm live now. So we're going to take it off from where we left off last week. Last week we started off we started off this conversation 2 weeks ago, reading motivational. Um, Emmanuel, you're welcome to class. How you doing? Like, share. All right, so that we know you're ready for this conversation. Okay. I see Priscilla. Priscilla, how you doing? Priscilla, you're welcome. Who else is in the room tonight? Welcome to class. I hope you can see me loud and clear. Okay, Manuel says I'm fine. Yes, I'm well, thank you. I'm well. Welcome to class. Okay, so I can see myself from this end. We're going to take it up right away. Yeah. Yes, we're going to take it up right away. What have I been waiting for, friends? That I've not been doing YouTube. Oh my goodness. Oh, I can imagine many people reaching out. Coach, why are you not on YouTube? As a producer, it's now 5 months since I started up the YouTube channel, and I'm grateful to God that I have been doing this. Yes, let's see what the next 7 months of the year has in store for us. Okay, for those of you that have been contemplating about starting off a YouTube channel, please go ahead and start. Yeah, it's a great place to be. You can see your content anytime to learn. Welcome, welcome. So, I wanted to carry this class forward because I've not been too strong, but I say no. We've started off on the series, but I'm better now. Yesterday was tough for me. Those of you in the reading challenge can attest to the fact that I had to carry the challenge to the money. I couldn't even talk. But thank God I'm here now. Yeah. Welcome, Precious. Precious, how are you? I hope you're fine. All right. So, we motivational. Today's conversation is centered around bridging knowledge gaps for personal growth. The first time I heard about knowledge gap was in 2020. Yeah, I researched around it and I saw what it meant. It wasn't really, in fact, for me, having an understanding of your knowledge gap is the beginning of wisdom. It's a lot has to do with self-awareness. A lot has to do with self-awareness. So in this case, we'll be considering knowledge awareness. Last week was centered around strategic ways to connect with the author of your favorite books. The authors of your favorite books was for last week, and we looked into um, the vision of the author. Yes, that every book has a template, every book has an agenda. That's why when you are very good with the subject of pre-reading, It will be easier for you to navigate, knowing fully well that if I do not connect with the author's agenda, the author's vision, there's no need even going further. There's no need bonding further. Okay, so connecting with the book you're reading has a lot of role to play in terms of how you also get to understand and integrate those ideas into your value chain. So last week was really profound. We spoke about vision, the research process that goes into your reading, engaging the author actively, and so many other things we discussed. If you were not in that class, just go to reading motivational, the second installment to this edition. Okay, these are third installment. So we've got 2 more weeks to go after today. So I'm Mr. Special. I see you. Welcome to class. Welcome. So reading motivation and bridging knowledge gaps. I love it. The reason people don't grow at a certain pace, they pray and wish that they are this person, but really, they are not growing because, ma'am, even you're welcome, they are not growing because they do not understand their knowledge gaps. Do you get it? They do not understand their knowledge gaps. So, by definition, knowledge gaps are areas where you, as an individual, you lack understanding, all right? You lack information. I like you to type those words in the comment. You lack information, you lack understanding, and you lack expertise. All right, that's knowledge gap. You lack information, you lack expertise, you lack understanding. We could even create an acronym from this, right? So you lack all of these things, and it is somehow like a challenge for you to be able to move from where you are to the next level. Although a lot of times we neglect all of those things, we do neglect them, we don't take them seriously, and as a result, we are not able to grow at a certain pace. So the sort of growth that is supposed to take us for about 2 years to climax, we're taking 5 years to build expertise in that area. We're taking 10 years, we're taking 7 years. And one major problem I've seen with readers, people who tend to be readers, who love to read books, is the fact that the fact that they can pick up a book to read and they can finish the book, they just believe that they are growing. That's not the truth. You're not growing because you're picking books to read. Do you see that? So you pick up a book to read. Currently, I'm reading a book on a certain subject, such a powerful book. I started reading the book 2 days ago. Precisely yesterday, I delved deeply into it. I've been listening to the author, trying to connect to the author, seeing to what she has to offer. And I'm so much in love with this woman. All right. I'm doing all my pre-reading. I've not even delved deeper into the book yet, but I'm still very deep on pre-reading. One thing that I've really stood at is the fact that I'm listening to this woman, I'm hearing the sort of language that I want to connect to on a deeper level. And I'm thinking, how do I convert, how do I convert or translate this information into my current zone, into my knowledge, into my own space, so that I can bridge the gaps that I have right now in this arena. And I'm learning so much from her. So readers have make these major mistakes all the time. The fact that you pick up a book to read, you just feel like you have read this book, so you're good to go. So you are growing. Growth does not happen that way. If your growth is not anchored, you cannot grow. Okay? I'd like you to write that in the comments. If your growth is not anchored, there will be no speed. There will be no growth within a particular space of time. So you end up doing something for 5 years, what you would have done for 1 year. So you see, when you have an anchor as a reader, it is going to give you an edge in the place of reading. That every other person will be reading the same books, but you are seeing something different. All right, you are seeing something different. You are picking at values and ideas from those content from a totally different perspective. That's what it means to bridge gap. So I'd like you to go back to the first session we had on reading motivational, on where we spoke so much about your own personal vision, which happens to be your number one anchor. And then we also look at the second installment, the vision of the author. So this third installment um, um, is centered around knowledge gaps. So if your growth is not anchored, then you have not grown. There will be no growth. That's what I've said. There will be no growth. And then you would also lack speed. All right. So, like I said already, that knowledge gap has to do with a situation whereby you do not have understanding or you lack capacity in the area of information, understanding, and expertise. So, today in our world, we have access to information, right? We have access to a lot of ideas flying left, right, and center. I just told you guys that I started reading a book recently. The book is dear to my heart because there is something I really wanted to do, so I had to pick up that book. Okay, so many a times people lack information to bridge the gap in their lives because they do not even know how to select the right book. Okay, see, I needed knowledge in an area and I knew how to go about it. There are ways I go about my book selection process. Yes, and if I don't teach you, you will never know it. It's not just about going to Google and typing a particular title. No, it goes beyond that. I have my own process that I flow through. I have my own methodology. I teach those things in my book club mastery program. That's what I teach you for those people who want to run book club. Okay, so sometimes when people lack information, it's usually as a result of maybe lack of education, lack of exposure to diverse perspective. Now, your ability to be able to bridge this gap is dependent on how well you're able to pick the right books, the right materials, okay, that you need to read that will help you sort out that challenge. Do you get it? Maybe it's a business idea. You're trying to see how you manipulate your way through so you can implement, prototype, innovate, and become better. Then you need the right knowledge, right? So it could be a lack of information that you're trying to gain access to. And once you can gain access to that, it will help you in bridging the gap. So, like I said already, there has to be an anchor personally, which is hinged on your purpose, your vision, and all of that. Once that is clarified, the next thing we have to look at for is the right sort of information. What kind of perspective do I need to overcome this challenge or to go beyond this current level that I am in, to go beyond this current positioning? Dora, you're welcome. To go beyond this current positioning. So that is it. You must be able to understand the information that you need. Is it the exposure to the right perspective? Is it the right education? What do I need at this level? So when we talk about understanding, sometimes you may have an understanding, but knowledge gap usually arises when you have a partial or a superficial level of understanding. Now, I started off teaching on what personal development actually means. Um, that was a few days ago. I started sharing videos on that. Maybe if you watched one of the video I shared on the Telegram community today, I spoke about what personal development really means. Now, a lot of people are passionate about personal development. See, passion is good. Passion is great. It's just like the first step, the first level you need to advance further. Do you get it? So you may have passion for personal development, but it is not going to take you far if you do not have a direction, if you do not have an anchor. So usually at times, knowledge gap arises from the fact that people have half-baked knowledge, partial understanding about a particular thing. Do you get it? About a particular thing. So in this case, we're talking about personal growth. What kind of knowledge, what sort of knowledge do you have about personal transformation, about personal growth? What kind of understanding do you have about it? On a journey, on this journey, what is your understanding about personal growth? Okay, what is your understanding about personal growth? Let me ask you. So having the complete level of understanding will also help you to begin to bridge the gaps that you have. Okay, the gaps that you have. So it is easy for us to throw words around. Today I gave a very solid definition that personal development is really about the total engagement of your different compartments. Okay, the total engagement of your different compartments. All right, your spiritual growth, your mental growth, your what's it called, your emotional growth, and your physical growth. I call it the SMEP. All right, SMEP, SMEP, spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical growth. Okay, that's like a framework already. So personal development is an holistic understanding of these different compartments, an holistic engagement of these different compartments. Okay, the full engagement aspect of these different areas of you, the SMEP. All right, spiritual growth, mental growth, emotional growth, and physical growth. So many at times people struggle because there is no balance in all of these different dimensions. So personal development is beautiful. So when you have a partial understanding of what personal development is, it's going to be a challenge. Now, having a complete understanding of what personal development is a beautiful thing. So once you have that complete understanding of what it means, and you also have been able to unravel your core personality, all right, you know your capacity emotionally, you know your capacity mentally, you know your capacity spiritually, and then you know your capacity physically. So you can now begin to engage yourself on a deeper level. So you know the right books to read, you know the right um, course to engage in, you know the right mentorship, the right coaching, the right mentors that you need in your life that would help you on a deeper level to unravel all of these different aspects of you. That's when your growth becomes sweet. We're not saying that you pick up a book to read and you will not grow. You will definitely grow. But what we're saying in a nutshell is that your growth will not be total. It is going to be delayed because you will experience a lot of detours and you will not know how to navigate further. That's why people give up easily. So you start off on the journey today. In the next 2 months, you are nowhere to be found. Maybe some of you that are even in the 29th edition reading challenge right now in the system, you have gone through this challenge, you are excited, you're like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. And after the challenge, you go back to your cocoon, you go back to your echo chamber, you go back to your zone, your zone of contentment. All right. I remember there was a time I was having a conversation with some of my team members, and I remember one of the thoughts that Dr. Gladys shared with us. And she said, Faith, I discovered that I've seen a lot of platforms that does things on reading competition and all of that. But the truth is, once people are done with reading competitions like this, they go back to their comfort zone. There is no room for continuity package. But here in the book club, we have continuity packages where you can continue to stick to your personal development journey. So this is really a lifelong journey. If you're ready to be a person who can, um, impact your world, like you want people to be able to experience your brilliance because you are a brilliant person. You are light. You are light, friends. You've read this book, Lighter, okay, by Young Kublo. Lighter by Young Kublo. It's such a great book that speaks so much about the fact that we are light. We're meant to light up our world, even though there are times that sabotages can sort of clog us and we are not able to express who we are. So understanding that you are light is very important. So having a complete understanding is important for you to bridge your knowledge gap. I've said having a complete understanding of your SMEP, spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical growth is important. So for you to just remember SMEP, maybe anytime something is smelling around the house or on the roadside, just remember SMEP, complete and total engagement of my spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical growth, personal development. Okay, I hope that's clear. Remember, for you to remember something, there has to be um, your ability to be ridiculous sometimes. Yes, one of the law of the memory is ridiculousness. How ridiculous it is, damn how far you'll be able to remember it. So, and then when you talk about you want to talk about personal growth, you just remember smell. When something is smell, you'll be like, Trace said it. The smell framework, spiritual method, physical, emotional health. So having a complete understanding of you and your position at these different levels will help you. Do you get it? Will help you to be a total personality. So you see that knowledge gap is a beautiful thing. Sometimes people also have skills deficiencies. Yes, on the path of personal development. Skills deficiencies. Maybe you are the sort of person that have very negative habits and all of those different low level of soft skills. Do you get it? Communication is a skill, is a soft skill. Maybe you don't have it. Maybe you don't have the skill of whatever in your space that you're looking out for, right? So skill deficiency can also be a gap, and bridging the gap will also help you to be able to soar in your field and in your various industry. Okay, so we also said expertise, right? So you see that your ability to build skills again and again, right, will mature to become to make you become an expert in your industry. So when you lack skills, the right skills, I want you to know that I believe in those days we used to have this orientation that skills are things that we can hold on to, the tangibilities, but that's gone beyond that right now. Okay, we now live in the times where we can exchange value on the internet. What I'm using to communicate with you now is a skill, speaking skill. The ability to talk, to express myself is a skill. Many of you cannot do it, right? Many of you cannot speak well. You cannot express your thoughts. Do you see that? So we cannot, it's a gap. It's a gap already. Like I would always say that we have um, two major productive skills. Okay, we have speaking and then we have writing. If you do not have these two skills in these times that we're in, it will not be easy for you to be able to express yourself. Even if you're a business person, you have to be able to negotiate. We do a lot of businesses online these days. In fact, more than 70% of business deals, all right now, negotiations and all of that are being done online. I'm a coach, I'm a thought leader. Since I started off on this journey, I've been able to impact people from across 4 continents, all right, through the skills of productivity, speaking and writing. Some people have bought my books across different countries of the world. Okay, I wake up to alert all the time. People buy my books from different platforms. All right, I speak and people invite me to speak on their programs. Right, people watch my YouTube videos. They go through my coaching programs. Right, it is a skill. All right, the more I do this consistently, I am building expertise, right? I am building what? Expertise. That's what I am doing right now. I'm building expertise, and I've been doing this consistently. You see me speak on platforms with different people, right? It's skills I'm building. Do you get that? So, skills deficiency is also a knowledge gap. Yes, Ma'am Essential, that's it, speaking and writing. Skills deficiency is also a knowledge gap. So when you can begin to bridge that gap, it's important. Knowledge gap can also help you to build that bridge such that you are able to build more competencies, all right, in your space. I want to ask you personally, looking at your personal growth and the SMEP framework, what do you think you are lacking spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically? I want you to type in the comments. I don't want you to tell me, don't give me the umbrella word. Maybe under the physical, there's something you're lacking. Under emotional, there's something you're lacking. Under mental, there's something you're lacking. Just say it in the comments. Type it in the comments. Because when you know what it is that is a gap, then you now begin to know the right books to read. When you know the right books to read, then you should also know that there has to be an anchor to keep you connected, to keep you motivated, which has to do with your vision and your purpose for doing that thing. So the accumulation of skills, all right, the accumulation of skills in the days that we are in will really help you to become an expert within a short space of time. People will start giving you a lot of opportunities to do business with them, all right. People will start doing businesses with you as well, even on the internet, because you have certain skills. People do not have networking skill. Networking skill is also a very powerful skill, okay, that if you don't have it, it will be difficult for you to connect with people. It will be difficult for you to have conversations with people. Do you see that? Sometimes when people send me DMs, oh my God, I don't want to say this. Well, sometimes when people send me DMs, I'm always like, out of every 10, let me even say just one or two understand how to talk, understand how to write. You want to ask me for something, you want to have a conversation with me, you want to have a conversation with me, you want to do business with me. They just send DMs, and when you read their content, sometimes you don't want to reply them. Have you seen people like that? They are everywhere. Even some of you talking to me right now, you are part of the people I'm talking about. You just send DMs. Sometimes when people see those books that we post on our platforms, they just send me DM, send me the book. You just do something like, send me the book. I'll be wondering, am I the owner of the book? I should send you the book. Like, no courtesy, no how you doing, hello, can I, it's so amazing the way people talk. People don't have networking skills. So sometimes even when you have something good to help them with, you don't even bother. You don't reply those messages, you just ignore them because they don't know how to talk. Do you see that? So the skill of negotiation, even as a business person, maybe you have something to sell. How do you negotiate with people? How do you have conversations with them such that you can still lead them as the human being you meant them to be, right? You can have intelligent conversations with people. Sometimes you're chatting people up, you're sending them because we live in that era, right? And that's why I'm using that as an example. You're chatting people up, you're having conversations with people, and you're not talking well. Your talk is not making sense. Like, I'm not even talking about your jargon, your expressions now. I'm talking about courtesy. All right. Sometimes when I see some people's write up, I'm like, oh my God, this person is so intelligent. When I started reading the book of, I started studying David, King David. If you read the book of Psalms, if you read the book of Psalms and some other First Samuel and all of that, you study the life of David, you just begin to understand why God said David was a man after my own heart. How many of you have read the book of Psalms? Those of you that goes to church, just begin to understand why God says David was a man after his own heart. Because David was a powerful communicator. My goodness, who would not love David? Who would not love David? Like, David will come to your DM and be like, oh, Coach Faith, the way that David will place the words, you will not have option than to give them what they want on a platter, right? You will not even have any option than to give them what they want on a platter. So David was such a powerful communicator. He knows how to thank God, he knows how to appreciate, he knows how to present his situation before God. He knows how to tell God, this is what I want. Oh God, you were able to do this for me at this point. I know you have done this, even when this happened, he's just so expressive of the fact that even in his weakness, yes, even in his weaknesses, he can also present it in a very beautiful way. So this is also a skill that we must learn in this day and age. Maybe you need a mentor, you need a coach, you need a leader in your life, and you don't even know how to speak to that coach. You don't know how to send personal messages. I was planning to learn a skill recently, and I had to search online because there was nobody close to me doing that. I'm in the reading space, personal development space, so a lot of people are really not there. All right, so I was just searching online, trying to see who I would reach out to. I got a book, read the book, and then got some other things I needed to do, and I had to reach out to this person directly. And of course, we started having conversation. This is somebody that is high up there, okay? And you'll be wondering, will this person ever, listen to you? But right now, with the fact that you are able to go through some of their work, you know what to say, you know how to communicate to them, it just opens up those doors for you. So, friends, when you build skills consistently, it is going to help you in bridging gaps, all right? Bridging those knowledge gaps. Now, how do you use reading? We're talking about reading now. How do you use reading to bridge these gaps in your life? All right. What you simply do is, by the time you look at yourself, okay, first of all, let me share with you some key questions you can ask. Okay. Let me share with you some key questions you can ask yourself. Once you are able to clarify what the knowledge gap is, then I will now tell you how to read. Okay. So let's look at 10 of these 10 questions. All right, we may not have up to 10, but let's see if we can run through quickly. You can just type them in the comments. You can also write them in your notes. Number one is, what specific area do you feel less confident or knowledgeable in right now? Right now, not tomorrow. I'm not talking about what you want to use later. I know that a lot of us love to read books that we'll use later. It's okay, but we're talking about what is necessary for the now. If you want to be a good learner, you read for the now. Do you get it? You read for the now so that you can integrate the lessons, so that you can integrate the knowledge into your value chain, so that you can execute on them. Because it is only the knowledge you execute on that can build you up. Do you see that? That can build your confidence level, can build your self-esteem, and can expand your horizon. So the first thing is, what specific areas do I feel less confident right now? What specific areas do I feel less knowledgeable in? That is your first question. So identify these areas right now so that you will be able to focus your learning effort, okay, where it is most needed. So the question is, what specific areas? Type it in the comments. I want to see your feedback. Okay, what specific area do you feel less confident right now? Okay, tell me in the comments. What specific area do you feel less knowledgeable in? Because wherever you are less knowledgeable in, is the same area you will not be confident in, right? You'll be like, oh my God. I used to say that if you know how a thing works, it works better. I hope you can remember that my quote. If you know how a thing works, it works better. So any area you are less knowledgeable in, you will need to read books in that area. The truth is, a lot of times people would say, oh, Coach Faith, I'm not good in speaking. Oh, Coach Faith, I'm not good in communicating. Coach Faith, I'm not good in doing this thing. I'm not this, I'm not that. I procrastinate a lot. I do this a lot. The truth is, if you can pick up 5 to 10 books in that area and you read them, you are going to break into action. But the challenge is, most of us are not accountable to do it. That's why you need a coach, right? So, what specific areas do you feel less? Do we still have people in the room? Is it that you don't know? Like, I'm not seeing your feedback in the comments. What specific areas? I see 10 people live. So tell me in the comments, what specific areas of your life do you feel less confident or knowledgeable in? Tell me, tell me, tell me. Before we move on to number 2. Okay, if you're here for the first time and you have not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe. Like the video. All right, like the video so that people can get to see it. Yeah, like it, share it, subscribe. Okay, so my message says finance. Okay, finance. Go and read Happy Pocket Full of Money, right? Finance. Okay. Timitokpa, you're welcome to class. Okay, Aruna says leadership. Okay, leadership. What specific area? Okay, Elisha says, I feel less confident in handling diverse personalities at workplace. Okay, that's the leadership. That's leadership. You need to learn how to relate with people and culture. You need to do that. Okay, so what resources are available to you right now to learn from about that area? What resources are available to you? So for you now, I would say get a lot of books because we're talking about books today. Okay, Shikamso says, I lack confidence. How many books have you read on confidence, Shikamso? How many books have you read on confidence? Okay, so that specific area that you lack confidence, you need to read books in that area. That specific area you are less knowledgeable on. Because most times when you say you cannot take action in an area, it's just because you do not have the right knowledge. There is a gap. There's a knowledge gap. So once there's a knowledge gap, there's no way you can bridge it. Okay, you cannot bridge it with gra gra. I mean, if you know what gra gra means, gra gra. You know this. I want to do it. I must do it. It must come to pass. It will not work. for the work. No matter how gracious you think you want to be to bring solution to that situation, it will not work. So you need help. Okay, you need help. So go get books in that area. Clara says confidence in speaking. Yes, confidence is speaking. So you need to bridge that gap. You need to read a lot of books. You need courses. You need workshop. You need mentors. You need coaches. You need a whole lot of those things. So now the next question you ask yourself is, how can I integrate new knowledge into my daily routine? This one is very beautiful. Even in the okay, Clara has given us answer. Gagra means by force. Okay, okay, that's good. Okay, so Ma'am Dora says social skills. Okay, Manuel says speaking and writing. So, how then do you integrate new knowledge into your daily routine? What are some of the practical ways you think you can do this? Let me give a practical example for speakers, for those who want to build speaking skills. One practical way to do that is you speak to people on a daily basis. Try to have short conversations with people. Okay, short conversations with people. Try and get. Chikamso says, publicly speaking. All right, so now that we have the internet, do voice notes. All right, voice note conversation. Share it as a broadcast. I remember when I started off um, the online space. Okay, in the online space, I used to do short recordings, 10 to 15 minutes on my WhatsApp in those days. Back in 2015, I would send it across to friends, all right, on my list. I will send it across to friends to listen. Okay, I'll send it across to them to listen to it. I kept on doing that till the time I finally stopped. Then I used to preach Bible. So I used to preach Bible. So see, when I finally stopped, I thought that some people were reaching out to me. Ah, Faith, why did you stop that? I was really learning, and on and on and on. I started using different platforms. So what am I saying, friends? That it takes a lot of commitment for you to be able to build expertise. Remember, okay, for you to be able to bridge the gap. So whatever it is, you have to learn how you can integrate new knowledge. If you say writing, these are productive skills, obviously. If you say writing, many of us have ideas, we have knowledge, we have a lot of things we want to do, but we don't know how to bridge the gaps. So if you say yours is writing, you have your Facebook, you have LinkedIn. Start writing. There were some writings I did like 10 years ago. When I see them on Facebook, I quickly delete some of them. When we go browsing through Facebook, sometimes they'll tell you what you did. They'll bring back memories. How many of you have seen that? They'll say they'll bring back memories. I'll now be looking at some of those where I'm like, why did I put a comma here? Most of the time, I'll quickly just delete them. So what am I saying in a nutshell? That those were times of growth, of learning. If I had said, no, I wasn't perfect, how can I do that? I wouldn't be here. So there's also the place of trainings, all right, training and going for mentorship, but there's a place of implementation. Okay, do not allow analysis paralysis to plague you, as it has plagued a lot of people. How many of you know the concept of analysis paralysis? Okay, overanalyze analysis can lead to what? Paralysis. So you're trying to analyze, oh, should I not? Will I make mistake? Will it be good? Will it be great? And then you will not be paralyzed. After analyzing for 10 years and you did not take action, you will not be paralyzed. I think this analysis paralysis also happens in the place of relationship. You have 10 sisters on board, you are analyzing, should I marry the tall one? Should I marry the dark one? Should I marry this one? At the end of the day, you overanalyze, you now get to a level that no all the sisters are taking, or all the brothers are taking. They're not like, oh my God, where do I even start from right now? The ones that I have on my list now, they are not up to my standard anymore. But let me just manage and go with one. And then when they now see you years later, they're like, I never believed this sister or this brother could ever marry this kind of a person. Overanalysis has driven them away. So the ones that we have available now, we just want to make do with them. Okay. So when others are taking action, don't go and sleep. Don't be overanalyzing looking for the perfect condition. That's what I'm saying. so that when they have now used their own time to do all their prototyping, okay, they have iterated, they've grown, they've matured, their systems are now better. It is then you to want to start practicing. It doesn't work that way. So how can you integrate new knowledge into your daily routine? Even as you read books, you have to learn how to integrate those ideas on a daily basis. If you are reading something on how to communicate with people, learn how to start communicating at the bus stop, the bus station, when you are maybe in the gas station as well. All right, you want to buy gas in your car, you are you are on flight, you are going out, maybe you are even walking around in the neighborhood. Okay, learn to start having conversations. That is how you integrate this thing on a daily basis. All right, you start growing from there. The next question is, what skills do you need to develop in advance in your personal growth journey? What skill do you need to develop? Okay, what skill do you need to develop? So I was going to say something about skills before I started asking us these questions. All right, I was going to say that when it comes to skill building, you have to go read this book by Josh Kaufman, The First 20 Hours by Josh Kaufman. How many of you have read the book, any book by Josh Kaufman? Josh Kaufman is also the author of Personal MBA, the Personal MBA. How many of you have read the Personal MBA? All right. The Personal MBA, the first time I saw the book, my heart skipped. I think the book is over 700 pages or so. My heart skipped because I was like, my God, this is a non-fiction book. This is not a story book. When will I finish this book? Okay. He's also the author of the Personal MBA, is the author of um, First 20 Hours. Please go read the First 20 Hours. It will teach you how to begin to learn new skills within 20 hours. Yes, how to learn new skills within 20 hours. So you can decide to learn 10 skills in a year. So if you are a very busy person, you can say, okay, this year I want to do 6 skills. So every 2 months I will learn one skill. Okay, not because you want to become a master at all of them, but that you are being exposed to all of these different arena, and then you're constantly growing your capacity at a certain level. I hope you get it. So once you grow your capacity at that level, of course, with the exposure to different perspectives, as you grow, you now begin to know what you should major on and what you should minor on. I hope you get the gist. So skill building has never been this easy. So he spoke about the concept of um, deconstruction, how you can deconstruct what's it called now, whatever it is you want to learn. Look at your SMEP framework, spiritual growth, mental, emotional, and physical growth. Look at all of those things and pick out something you want to learn, deconstruct them, and see where to begin from. All right. So that is it for skill building. It will really help you. So what skills do you need to develop in advance for your personal transformation? So look at all of that and begin to develop skills. So I've just given you a total roadmap on how to build skills. So you also look out for another question is, are there any industry or fit specific trend I need to stay updated on? Okay, I need to stay updated on. By the time you start learning all of those skills, you can now begin to ask yourself all of those empowering questions. Are there specific industry trends? All right. That one is a deeper version anyway. Maybe as you pick up a book to read, you can also follow up with some of those powerful authors. Yes, it's very beautiful. By the time you read 50 books in a year or 20 books in a year, you can pick up 2 authors to follow back to back. You can even subscribe to their email list to keep learning from them. They have programs you can subscribe and also learn. If they are connected to your personal growth journey and you feel that what you need right now is what they have to offer. Do you see that? So the next thing is, who can I reach out to for guidance or mentorship in these areas? So I've just said that it's also very important to have a mentor, okay, that can guide you. I hope you get the gist, because there are specificity to our different growth journeys. So the way and manner at which it will happen to Haruna is not the same with Emmanuel. So we have to understand our journeys and see how we can navigate. Do you get that? So that our growth will be swift. Remember, we're bridging knowledge gaps. It's not everybody that will make your heart to be skipping all the time. Oh, that author is deep. Oh, that coach is this. You are following everybody. If you are doing that, you cannot follow anybody. So what I usually recommend is, if you have a coach or a mentor, ensure you stay for a minimum of 2 to 3 years with that coach or mentor, right? And get the best from them. Learn as much as possible from them. Get a master degree from their expertise, from their wisdom. And so when you are done, you can now move on to something else. I hope you get the gist. You can now move on to something else. So that is very important. And when you are there, make sure you utilize it very well. That's how to get mentorship. Okay? Some people come in for mentorship, but they are not willing to do the work. When you tell them do this way and do that way, they are not willing to do it. So what would have taken you 2 years end up taking you 10 years. So you must also be ready to follow instructions. So another thing when it comes to reading is that you have to also know your learning preference, your learning style. It's okay to be a listener. It's okay. Everybody must not do virtual reading. All right, looking at the book back to back. All right. Somebody asked a question during the reading challenge that which one is more effective, listening or reading directly from the pages of the book. I said both of them are effective. All right. Reading directly is effective, listening is effective. Okay. But then if you can do all of them, it is better. Okay. There's also the aspect that has to do with doing. We call it kinesthetism. I call it optimizing your doable initiative. Yes, doing. All right, that part is very beautiful. I love it so much. Doing kinesthetism, where you learn, okay, whether you are reading, you are listening to a book, and then you implement. Kinesthetism is implementation, is doing the work. You pick out those ideas and you look out for how you can integrate them into your routine. It's very important. So know what your learning preferences are. For me, my best is listening and reading at the same time. So I'm listening with my device and I'm flipping through on my laptop, following through. So it sticks better for me. It sticks better for me. So when I'm very busy, I just listen. I listen, and if there's any point that stood out for me, I quickly look at the page and I jot it down, the page number, and I jot it somewhere. I will go back when I am done. Do you see it? So, and I'll go back when I am done entirely. I'll go back and go through again on those pages to really integrate the lessons. So, know your learning preference, and see how you are. There's even a link to, I think there's a platform where you can really do this analysis. I used to offer it in those days. Yeah. So the next thing is, what practical experiences do you need to reinforce? Okay. What practical experiences can you seek out to reinforce your knowledge? Okay, it's very, very important. Practical experiences. I have said this again and again. Friends, when you are bridging knowledge gap, look out for practical experiences. Okay, most of those practical experiences involves volunteerism majorly. Volunteerism, internship, project management. Just look out for scenarios that can position you to be able to do the work. You want to be a coach, look out for platforms where you can volunteer to be coaching other people. Okay, this has just taken me back to somebody recently that was talking about becoming a coach. So if you want to become a coach, look out for platforms where you can coach for free. That's volunteerism without looking for anything in return. You are learning. Before I started up the Leaders platform back in 2015 to 2016, I started coaching on the platform for almost 2 years. In fact, getting paid wasn't even in my dictionary. Like, I was so excited doing the work. I remember in those days I used to teach on relationship and some other subjects, right? I teach on health as well. Looking at my background on biochemistry, I used to teach you ladies on health stuff and all of that. So you can as well pick up an opportunity to volunteer. That is a practical scenario to help you bridge knowledge gap. Do you understand? So when we say optimizing your doable initiative, if you are scared of doing something on your own, you feel you make mistake, you make blunders, and there will be no feedback. Of course, feedback is a necessity for growth. Feedback is a necessity for growth. So you can look out for an opportunity to step into an arena. where this thing is being done. Okay, once it's being done, then you can learn. Do you get it? You can learn along the line, and as you learn, you can use that opportunity to grow your muscle for execution. Okay, so how do you measure your growth process? How do you measure your progress? That's the next question. How do I measure my progress on this learning journey? How do I measure my progress? Set goals. Set goals. If you want to be able to speak to 100 people in the next 6 months, start by speaking to one person. Speak to two, speak to 10. Keep growing and keep measuring your milestone. Do you see that? If you want to be able to write 1,000 words without errors, with constructive sentences, start by writing 50 words. Okay? Start by what? Emmanuel says, I've been waiting for that answer. Did you ask any question? I didn't get that. You can drop it again. Okay, start by writing 50 words correctly with not so much errors. Okay, then you can build to 100 to 500. You cannot just take the leap from 50 to 1,000 words. You have to grow. So what are the potential challenges you may face while you are also bridging your gaps, and how can you overcome them? Obstacles will come. There will be rooms for detours. Detours, there will be room for challenges. Things can happen along the way. Do you get that? Things can happen along the way. And when they happen, how do you bridge the gaps? You must be cognizant of your journey. So have you written down those 10 questions? So that is very paramount. We're talking about we're talking about skill deficiencies, and we have to go ask those questions so we know how to position ourselves for what we're looking out for. Again, we all have knowledge gaps in our lives. Okay, we all have. I have my own knowledge gaps. The beauty about identifying knowledge gap that I have seen over the years as a coach, as a thought leader, as an author, as an entrepreneur, is the fact that as you stay put on your path of consistent growth and improvement, okay, of execution, you quickly discover your knowledge gap faster. But if you're not executing on whatever ideas that flooding your mind, you are not deliberate about them, forget about the identification. That's why people like us, we want to pay for programs, we already know what we are looking at for, right? So you may tell us, oh, I'm going to give 50 books, I'm going to do this and do that, but there's something we are looking at for, and that's what we will go for. Do you get it? So when you stay put on the part of execution, like I would always say that personal growth is a two-pronged approach. You learn, you execute. Now, the reason execution is very important, listen to me carefully. The reason execution is very important is what I have shared with you right now. Execution is important because with it, you quickly discover your gaps. You quickly discover your gaps, and you would also learn how to bridge them along the way. And you would even begin to learn how to navigate the sort of conversation that will bring the right mentors into your life, that will bring the right relationship, the right associate, business partners into your workflow, into your journey. Do you see that? So without execution, it's going to be a nightmare. You just keep reading. You keep reading and reading and reading, and you're getting excited. And the ones that you've read before, you are forgetting them. Somebody says, I've seen this from a lot of people, Coach Faith. I read, and whenever I read, I don't remember what I've read. How will you remember when you don't execute on them? When you don't take action, right? One of my mentors would always say that knowledge on ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice. The first time I heard him say that, I was so blown away. Ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice water. If you put your knowledge on top of ice, it will become frozen, right? But if you put ignorance on fire, my God, it will ginger the whole room. So that's why you see somebody who is not as knowledgeable as you are doing amazing things. And you're like, oh my God, he did not even say it well. Huh, what's he doing? I do it better. So go do it, let's see. Go take steps. Now that we even live in the internet space, when somebody comes up with an idea, even if it is not with so much depth, and they can promote it with good marketing, they are out there. You start seeing them everywhere. And you'll be like, oh my God, what are they even doing? I have more capacity than this. That one is inside your pocket. When you finish it in your pocket, you swallow your pride. Do you see that, friends? So it is important that you take steps in the right direction. However, little drops of water, they say, makes the mighty ocean. Do you get that? Makes the mighty ocean. So we all have knowledge gaps in our lives. What are your knowledge gaps? Go and ask those 10 questions today. What areas are you deficient? So you know how to now begin to pick the right books to read. Once you are able to clarify all of that, you know where the shoe is pinching you, okay? Then you will be motivated to read. Nobody will tell you to read. Maybe when you be, or are you waiting to be embarrassed first? Maybe when you've been embarrassed somewhere, okay? When you've been embarrassed somewhere, they're like, oh my God, you didn't do that well. In an opportunity that was supposed to be given to you, it is waved away because of those sort of mess up. So, friends, it is important that we begin to bridge our knowledge gap for personal growth. There are different areas of life that we want to build bridge gaps for. Maybe our professional life as well, our whatever area it is. But I want you to know that bridging your knowledge gap is a game changer. It grows with time, with consistency, and that's how you keep growing and growing and growing. So from today, don't just read haphazardly. Don't read because you want to read. Don't read because you've seen the title. Don't read because you are excited. You like the author. The author is your friend. Don't read because of that. Read because you want to bridge your gaps. I hope you've learned something today. Let me see if you have questions in the room. I would address one or two questions. Let me take water as I wait for your questions. Okay, Emmanuel, I see your question already now. I see your question, Emmanuel. Okay, yeah. Okay, sorry, Precious. You would have to go through the replay again. So there are a couple of links on this video. If you want to reach out to me, maybe for a clarity conversation for 15 minutes, I offer that for free. You want to talk to me about your personal transformational journey. You want us to have a conversation so you know where to pitch from, you know what to do. If you are not clear about certain things, you can send me a direct message through that link so that we can have a conversation for 15 minutes. All right. Then there's also a link in this group for you to join a Telegram community. Okay, you can join us on the Telegram community for you to connect with other people on a journey of personal growth. All right. So, like I said already, if you want to work with me, you are free to send a DM through that link as well. Once again, my name is Faith Michael. Welcome on board. This is the platform where we talk about personal development and transformation. I'm so glad that you've been here today. I hope you enjoyed your stay. Next week, we're going to continue on this sort of conversation. We're looking at reading motivation. Next week will be our fourth installment. Then upper week, we're going to round off successfully. Those of you in the reading challenge currently, I want to celebrate your commitment so far. So let's head over to the group now so you can have your the level challenge. I want to celebrate you all. Thank you for your time tonight. It's been an awesome journey. This is usually a 1 hour conversation. I don't want to overflog it so we can all go and rest for our weekend. Thank you for your time. All right. Good night, everybody. And bye for now. Bye.